meantime, will you please welcome a great a cappella group from Dublin who did very well on Sing on Sky, performing Under Pressure. It's Ardú!
Pressure pushing down on me, pressing down on you, no man has fought. Under pressure that burns a building down, splits a family in two, puts people on the streets. Ding ding bum bum ba day, ding ding bum bum ba da, dee da da, dee da da.
It's the terror of knowing what this world is about. Watching some good friends scream, let me out. Pray tomorrow gets me higher. Pressure on people on the streets.
Turn away from it all like a blind man. Stand on the fence, but it don't work.
Keep coming up with love, but it's so slashed and torn.
Love's such an old-fashioned word, and love dares you to care for the people on the edge of the night, and love dares you to change our way of caring. Our last under pressure, under pressure, pressure.
People, sound people, and the floor manager.